Now, first, I think it's important that we start with some of the theories or models that can help us understand religious conversion. Lofland and Stark proposed a six-stage model. According to them, this model sort of suggests that religious conversion sort of involves six intermediate models, which include a crisis, the initial phase, a crisis phase, and then there's a turning point, and then you have the establishment of the religious identity. And so this three layers of experiences, he kind of classified on the six stages. One is experiencing tension, and the second it's finding a problem-solving perspective, and the third stage is establishing a strong emotional connection to the group. The fourth stage it's encountering an influential member or a leader in the group, and then the fifth stage of this conversion experience it's embracing a new belief system, and then the last stage is consolidating the new identity and commitment. And so this Lofland and Stark's six-stage model of religious conversion, and which is really a sociological framework that is often used to outline the process of conversion in sequential stages. I say it's a sociological framework. This does not mean that social psychologists don't use this framework. They also use it as well. And so it's very much relevant and applicable to psychology. But let me explain what each of the stages are. So, for example, the experience and tension at that particular stage, this stage sort of involves experience and tension or dissatisfaction with our current situation or even belief or even our worldview. And so you find that this tension may cause a personal crisis. It can also cause doubt about one's fate and even the perception that one's life kind of lacks meaning and purpose. But at the second phase, that's people kind of reach out for kind of try to find a problem-solving perspective. And of course, it makes sense because oftentimes most people convert to certain religions because they kind of envision the faith, the particular religion, helping them solve their problem. Maybe not practically, but at least cognitively in a sense. And so in this finding a problem-solving perspective stage, the individual kind of begins to search for solutions to kind of to the tensions that they are experiencing. So, for example, they may kind of explore alternative belief systems, or even engage in self-reflection, or even seek guidance from others. And so the other also is establishing a strong emotional connection to the group. And so this the individual at this stage kind of forms a strong emotional bond with a religious group or even a community that kind of offers a solution to their tension. And you find that this bond it's kind of typically established through social interactions, through shared experiences, through emotional support from the group members. And also you are encountering an influential member or leader. Now, at this stage, the individual kind of encounters a charismatic leader or even an influential member of the group who kind of serves as a role model and then inspires them to embrace the group's beliefs and practices. Usually, like when you go for a crusade, a church crusade or a church event, oftentimes a pastor can play this role. Also, you have the other stage is embracing the new belief system. Now, here the individual kind of adopts the new belief system, and often this system is accompanied by a profound sense of relief, even joy and transformation. And you find that this stage may even involve a public declaration of faith, participation in religious ritual, or other markers of commitment. But also you find at the final stage, that's the consolidation of the new identity and with individual commitment. And at this final stage, it kind of involves consolidating, on one hand, your religious identity, your new religious identity, and then deepening yourself into that particular community through your commitment. And for example, this would involve things like increased involvement in the group's activities, the adoption of new religious practices, the rejection of previously held beliefs or even affiliations, And so, but also why we observe this status, I want to also talk about conversion motifs, which was kind of put together by Lofland and and Scunner, I think in their work in 1981. They kind of proposed a classification of conversion experiences that does not follow a particular sequential order. And so instead of looking at it from stages, you could kind of identify 6 types of conversion motifs. These are different patterns that kind of characterize how a conversion experience might occur. And so there are about 6 of them, and 6 conversion motifs have been suggested. The first one is the intellectual motif. Now, this type of conversion occurs after a period of study or reflection or intellectual understanding of a new faith. You find people that might pick up the Bible and somehow it kind of makes sense to them, or find people that might listen to the story of a particular leader in a particular faith, and it's of interest to them because somehow they identify with what the struggles of the person or maybe the particular mystical experience within that particular religion. But also you have the mystical motif, which kind of falls in line with the intellectual motif. Now, this conversion experience is kind of characterized by sort of a dramatic, which is usually sudden experience or epiphany. It's kind of characterized by some kind of epiphany, which is often described as an experience of sort of being supernatural, or an experience that is kind of supernatural or extraordinary in nature. So some people might convert to a particular religion or faith because of a mystical motive. They have some kind of epiphany moment, right? But also you have the experimental motive. Now, this conversion sort of takes place gradually, especially as an individual kind of experimentally tries out practices, rituals, lifestyles style that is sort of associated with a faith. And then oftentimes they find them satisfying and even beneficial, and they might be drawn to that faith because of that. Some people might come to church just because, they want to try out what it means to be a Christian, and at some point fall in love or have an encounter that kind of transforms their life. Also, you have the affectional motive. Now, with the affectional motive, conversion in this context, it's sort of driven by a strong emotional attachment, where this attachment is often to people who are already part of the religious group. So it makes sense if the people that you are connected with or that you love and care about are part of a religious community, to want to be part of that. But also the fifth motive, it's the revelational motive. Now, this type of conversion sort of involves a sense of direct communication or even revelation from a divine or transcendent source. And this revelation can lead to a radical reorientation of the individual's religious belief. Some people have this experience. Sometimes it could come as maybe having some kind of dreaming about something you think that is supernaturally orchestrated, or hearing a word. Paul on his way to Damascus had this kind of revelation as well in his account as well. But also the sixth motive is a coercive motive. This kind of refers to conversions that are kind of occur under pressure or coercion, where the individual feels they have no viable alternative but to convert. That's very interesting, because I'm sure it would hit home for a lot of us who might have given our lives to Christ more than 100 times, well, because our parents or mom, or like in my case, those days when I was younger, my mom would always drag me out whenever there is an altar call, right? And so oftentimes that could be people's experience sometimes, especially in certain faith traditions that it's very strict. I know, for example, in the Islamic religion, that there might be a coercive component for people so that they are not alienated from the community. Now, each of these motifs kind of suggests a different pathway to conversion, and it kind of highlights the diverse ways in which people may come to adopt a new belief system, or even become part of a religious affiliation. Now,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. One small step